Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 256 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media. I love getting the young stars on the team, on the show. I love it. This guy has just been busting it at the plate since August and since day one, since he arrived out there in center field for the Chicago Cubs. He is PCA, Pete Crow-Armstrong. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm good. I'm good. We're out here in Denver right now.
Yeah. First trip to Denver, or did you make it last year?
Second, this is my debut. This is almost my debut anniversary, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, so Denver will always have a special place in your heart, won't it?
That's right.
Okay, cool. Well, we got a lot of ground to cover with you. I've heard great things about you from people within the organization. You're only 22, but you got it all figured out, which is awesome. I know you don't like me saying that, but you do. You got a lot of stuff going for you, kid.
I appreciate it. I'll take it.
You're from Los Angeles, but I got to get this part. Did you play in Sherman Oaks Little League?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know do you know my connection to the Sherman Oaks Little League or no?
No, I thought it was Encino.
Yes, I'm an Encino guy. I'm an Encino dad.
Yeah.
And for people don't follow along, Sherman Oaks and Encino are like communities next to one another, and they have battled for years, especially the 12U year, because that's the year you could make it to Williamsport or whatever. Did you play Encino in the sectional or whatever districts in the?
I played Encino going back to like 8U.
Yeah.
It was, like club ball started around 8 years old, I think, for me, and if the name Drew Bowser
Of
is
course,
familiar,
he's now a Cub.
right. So that's one of my best friends in the entire world. He was my high school shortstop. But Drew Bowser, I mean, he's obviously doing well for himself. He keeps getting better, and I love the guy. But he was the best Little League 12U player I've ever seen in my life. I've given up 2 home runs in my life. I haven't pitched since I was 15, but one of them, and the first one was to Drew. And I think that was before it really mattered in All-Stars and everything. But yeah, we usually got whooped by their All-Star team. It was always tough playing them, man.
Yeah, wasn't that Tyler? My buddy Tyler Stromsburg was on that team pitching, and
Yes.
yeah.
Ty was on that team. Drew, Spencer Marsden. I don't know if you remember him.
I coached Duncan, his brother, who's now a pitcher at Wake Forest.
I was about to say Dunk's throwing 100 now. Harvard Westlake alum. But yeah, no, I got a lot of history with Encino for sure.
That's nice. That's everybody who's listening has one of those. If you're
Yeah.
if you're one and you're a decent group, it's the other. We used to get our butts kicked by the Horned Frogs. That's what the Sherman Oaks kids are named, like ages 8 through 11, and then the 12U year we finally got you in districts and won District 40, and then we got whooped in sectionals. But it was fun. It was fun. We always got that. So
the one year we beat Encino, we lost the next round anyways.
Yeah,
but
it's all right.
yeah.
How much of a stud were you as a kid? Because I've been hearing about you for a while. When you were little, let's say like 10, were you? Just be honest with me. Were you so much better than everybody else? Because some major leaguers, it takes them a while before that kicks in.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. I think I figured it out that I was somewhat decent when I was 12. Before that, I don't know. I was just playing Little League. I was still playing like basketball and soccer, and I was still doing what kids should be doing at that age, But I'll credit Masyn Winn to kind of showing me that I was good at baseball. He'll probably kill me for saying this too, but I hit a homer off him when we were 12, and it was USA baseball, so it was like a bigger sample size of like good baseball at that age. And Masyn's been unbelievable. He's a guy that you could probably ask, and he'd say, yeah, I knew I was gonna do this for the whole time, right? But I hit a homer off Masyn. It was a good at bat and just went dead center on those little small fields, and I felt really good about that. Clearly still to this day. And that kind of showed me that I could do it on a bit of a bigger scale. And I think that it sounds funny, but that's kind of when I gained a little bit of confidence as a baseball player, I'd say.
That's awesome. So you played against him in the kind of the smaller Team USA when you were younger?
Yeah, we it was like the same format that they kind of do throughout the different age
Uh
groups. It
huh.
was the team trials, so they split the guys up into two groups, and they made the cuts from there. But it was just like inner squad head to head stuff before the team was made, and it was all tryouts. But um, God, I mean, Masyn was so good at that age, and he's still so impressive. But he was a pitcher, I'd say, in my eyes, before he was a shortstop. Especially at that point, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, his arm is sick, dude.
Stupid,
Yeah. So who else?
stupid.
Are there other major leaguers or guys on the cusp of making the show that you either played with or against? Who are
Paul
roll out
Skenes
some?
was Paul was
No,
on that team. Paul was on that team, and he was a catcher at that point.
right?
Um, Mason, Paul, um, Robert Moore, Dayton Moore's kid.
Oh
He's
yeah.
in. I want to say he's in Double A or Triple A with the Phils. Gosh, who else?
Well, I want to let me get you back to Skenes for a second while we're here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, we know about his time at Air Force before he moved to LSU, and that he was a really good hitter and stuff. He didn't pitch at all at that point.
No, I don't remember him stepping on the mound. I could be wrong, but he was a catcher at that point.
Well, you guys faced him in his debut.
Yeah.
I guess he's changed a little bit, huh?
A little bit. When I didn't play his debut, but I played the second start that he made at Wrigley. Um, and he got me to ground out twice, and I ran back after the first one. I was like, you're a little bit bigger." I don't even remember what I said, but he's a house, man. That like one of those ones where it's kind of weird to think about him at that age, because I mean, yeah, he's a phenom. He's a bit of an anomaly, but just such a like it's weird what 10 years does. I don't know. It's hard to kind of grasp in a way.
So you have faced the best of the best. Where does he rank? Because we're all trying to figure out. Like we all know he's really good, but is he one of the best two or three pitchers in baseball?
Oh man, I mean, I've gotten pretty lucky with the arms I've faced this year. I mean, I like Wheeler, Burns, Freddie Peralta, Garrett Cole, Verlander, Dylan Cease. Like he's up there for sure. He's up there, but I don't know if I'd put him in the top three. I don't know if I even thought about my top three. I mean, his stuff is real, and his presence on the mound is very real. Part of that is his size, but I like his attitude up there. It's tough to watch him sometimes up there with that quiet, cocky swagger he's got in a way where he's smiling if he doesn't like a call, or if you make a good take, he's smiling at you like nothing seems to phase him, and I just appreciate the way he steps on the mound. And um I mean, I'm sure his life's moved really fast in the last year, so all the props in the world to him for sure.
Pete, you're only 22. Have you had that moment where you either stepped in the batter's box or just stepped on the field because you've dreamt about this forever, and it's
Yeah.
okay to be this way? Like, holy shit, I cannot believe I'm here, or I'm facing this guy, or did you have one of those moments yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Verlander was probably the first one, and I think that was a bit of a special one. That was my first start after getting called up, for the first time this year. Where it felt like there was some weird in between time after getting called up at the end last year and starting in Triple A, and I think um I've gone through so many moments of having the attitude where I haven't deserved this yet. I haven't done anything to deserve this yet. And that turning a little too self-deprecative maybe. Um, and I never wanted to give myself that credit until I'm facing guys like Verlander or Zach Wheeler, and against Zach Wheeler, he absolutely blew me up with a cutter first or second pitch of the first at bat I had against him, and it turned into a double down the line, and I don't think I actually had a moment where I'm like, I just doubled off Zach Wheeler. Like, I was like, I chased a cutter inside. I got my hands blown up, but somehow I'm standing on second base. I could get a little bit better at feeling like that, I guess. But Fenway, stepping into center in Fenway was probably one of those moments for me. Playing the Mets in New York after, thinking for a second that that's where I'd be playing center field, and then definitely playing at Dodger Stadium this last few days. I think I gave myself some grace to go out into center and touch the grass and feel a little sentimental about it all.
More Pete Crow-Armstrong is coming your way, but first, you know what you all need more of in your life? Get off your ass. With bold flavors and refreshing citrus kick, Mountain Dew will get you off your ass and have you feeling like you're on an actual mountain. A mountain where the weather is always perfect and your friends are ready to hang, and a day of epic proportions awaits. Just think of all the stuff that you could do outside. You could go fishing. You could play a little pickup football. You could toss a frisbee. You could have a longest throw contest. Heck, if you got a monitor outside and you want to bring your headgear with you, you could play video games. You could play kickball with Kickball Dad if he's in your cell phone, kind of like me. You could do disc golf. You could do frisbee golf. You could just do regular golf. You could do wiffle ball, blitzball, pickleball, any sort of ball. You name it, you got it. My point is that the mountain is calling and you should answer. So grab your friends, grab an ice-cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and I got 3 words for you. Do the do. You did grow up there. What was it like when you set foot on there for the first time as a major leaguer?
I remember I went out and did my little jog into center while we were stretching, and I started smiling. I was laughing a little bit. I was just like, this is interesting. I grew up kind of disliking the Dodgers. My dad was a Cubs fan, so he's teaching me who to like and who not to like. Cody saw me, I think, and he started laughing too. But when I saw him, he was just smiling real big, and he was like, "What do you got?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It feels good to be back." Like, not that I ever had any real time spent on that field. Maybe I just, I love being in a spot where, if we're talking about Drew earlier, like I went to Dodgers games with Drew growing up. My parents watching Flaherty in Harvard Westlake's state final, winning 2-1 or whatever it was, and yeah, I think that was one of those moments where I probably, I gave myself that time to be like, this is pretty cool.
You didn't just play. You literally stole the show. The Max Muncy home run rob. It looks like, and this is in the 9th inning of a 3-run game, it's the final out. It looks like the ball hits a fan's hat. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I guess. I honestly, that all happened pretty fast, and yeah, I don't know. That was blacked out for sure. It almost, like, playing it back in my head, it almost feels like I heard it hit the hat more than I saw it hit the hat, and how much the hat actually affected it. But that was a cool play, and I'm glad Porter's okay too. That was a little interesting right before that, but he's a beast too. He's a beast.
But you made several catches in that series where you're like, there was one where I think you and I think it was Bellinger who was in right. There's a little bit of this, that happens on balls that are hit in the gap and stuff. The Kike one. Is this your favorite one from the? That's pretty good right there. No.
Yeah, I love those ones, especially a ball from a righty that's kind of running away from you. Like, that's a fun one. Especially, I don't know. I like having to go find the wall, and that's actually not something I've done very well this year. I think the adjustment to playing outfield up here it's been a little different than I expected, and I don't need to go too much into that right now. But yeah, finding the wall like that, going back from a ball running away from you is fun for me. And the guys that play on my left and right, like Ian and Cody, have made my life easy out there just because they've especially recently, and just in certain conversations we've had, they've they haven't completely given way because those are both Gold Glove, caliber. I mean, Cody's a Gold Glove caliber right fielder, but Ian's obviously won 2 and hopefully wins a 3rd this year. But they haven't fully given way. They've just given me a lot of room to go play out there. So, yeah.
Do
I
you
don't know.
hear the crowd when you're out there?
I hear it before the play, and then after the play, or during the play, I feel like I kind of lose it sometimes. Wrigley's a little different because people are right on top of you, so there's always a bit of a buzz or like a rumble, even while the ball's playing. That's just my experience, though.
Are the girls yelling at you in Wrigley?
No. If anything, my mind probably has selective hearing, and I only pick out the things that are like either very funny or a little over the top, and I like all that kind of stuff, interacting with fans and everything. So yeah.
What's the funniest thing you've heard?
Oh,
Or who's the rowdiest group that you've heard? Guys
I
on you.
mean, L.A. or L.A. or the South Side. The South Side obviously big rivalry, so they were pretty nasty, but LA also, like, I Dodgers fans, like, they're also somewhat nasty at times, and I just had a lot of fun with them. But Cleveland was like sneaky in left field over the big wall. All those all those people sitting way up there, you can hear a lot of things that go on in there, and yeah, they were funny. They weren't gross or over the top or anything, but they were funny for sure. Cleveland was some good chirps.
That way, that's my hometown, by the way.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've lived in L.A. for 25 years, but Cleveland's my city, and I got 2 boys. I have one son that's older than you, actually, and
Do you?
which is I do. He went to Notre Dame, but he didn't play ball. He didn't play ball. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, for
But
people who don't.
you guys were a Lawrence family too, right?
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that because I went to Wesley, the Wesley school. So we played you guys in sports a little bit growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I feel like
my
we always
oldest
played
son's
the B team.
my son's a year older than you, so you guys wouldn't have played in the same age group in a lot of stuff. But yeah, we were a Lawrence family, and then older one went to Notre Dame, younger one just graduated from Brentwood, and he's off in college now. So he played baseball, but we didn't play the same. We didn't play the same baseball that Harvard Westlake did. I just want to let you know that.
Brentwood's a little different.
It is.
Yeah.
For people know the name Harvard Westlake because of, Flaherty, Freed, and Giolito, and obviously you're carrying on that tradition, and there will be more to come. People may or may not know it is also a hard-ass school. That is no joke. Like, you can't take – Giolito's tried to convince me that there's baseball classes that you can take. I'm not buying it. No. I am not buying it, right?
No, I'm not even gonna entertain that joke. No.
What was the hardest class you had to take at Harvard Westlake?
Sorry, you're just giving me flashbacks here.
Sorry.
No, school. That school was tough for me. Biology there was tough. But it's funny because like they had like I think in 10th grade, like, you took chemistry, or that was like the track you were supposed to be on, quote unquote, supposed to. But if you didn't do chem, you did geology. So I was in geology and stuff like that, and even geology was freaking hard.
Dude, rocks for jocks.
Oh my, that was our slogan. That was our slogan.
Yeah.
But we did, like, we went to like Death Valley and stuff, and that was a fun class. But
sorry, I'm taking you down a bad road. Okay.
Yeah, bio was by far the hardest, probably.
Yeah, you just take accounting based on your baseball skills. Just take accounting and a few econ classes. You'll be just fine with what you.
Business
what you
of life was my senior class. Yeah.
Business of life. Hey, dudes, we're always looking for a better fit. Doesn't matter what sort of shape you're in. Sometimes clothes just don't fit right until now, because I've been wearing True Classic tees on repeat. I love how comfortable and soft the material is, and it makes me, a dad bod dude in his 50s, even look sexy again. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of my 27-year bride, Michelle Rose. That's right. She was like, can't you call the office and see if they can get you more of these? They fit so nicely. So, yeah, I got a bunch. I wore them to Vegas recently. Yes, you can wear them to Vegas. You can wear them just about anywhere because they will go with you whatever situation you're in. They're designed to accentuate your best features. True Classic shirts, they're tailored for a perfect fit, snug in the arms and chest with just the right amount of room in the midsection. That is me to a T. And True Classic sells premium products at a very affordable price. You can get their best-selling T-shirts, hoodies, jeans, and more in 3, 6, and 9 packs. True Classics activewear becomes essential for workouts and vacations alike. Their activewear crew necks offer moisture-wicking, quick dry, and odor control. So you pair them with the super soft, stretchy joggers for all-day comfort. I love to travel in them as well. They are the perfect combo. Right now, you can unlock big savings when you bundle items site-wide. So just go to my exclusive link at trueclassic.com/rose to save. That is trueclassic.com/rose. Shop now. Elevate your wardrobe. That is Rose, R-O-S-E today. You'll be feeling and looking great. You end up getting drafted in the first round by the New York Mets. What the heck was that day like?
Crazy. Cassius Stanley called me during the draft and freaked me out, and I had to tell him you can't do that. I was like,
wait
you
a second, the
better.
Hooper, Cassius Stanley?
Yeah. Yes.
So he was one of the big-time basketball recruits. So you guys were buddies from Harvard Westlake?
Yeah, he played baseball too. He was a pitcher and an outfielder and very impressive athlete. So I met him playing club ball with PBA. But yeah, then we got somewhat close throughout high school and actually somewhat missed each other at Harvard Westlake because he went back to Sierra and whatever. But yeah, he called me during the draft and I thought I was ready for it, but I ended up stressing the whole time. And
what do you mean he called you? Was he faking to be a team when he called you?
No, I think he lacked a little feel in the moment and just gave me a ring. Like I think it was just to say, hey, good luck today. Like thinking about you. And it happened to be like halfway to when I actually ended up getting picked. And I just, it was hilarious, but it was a great day. And I had a lot of my closest people there, and my high school team, and all the people that really spent serious time with me in the baseball world, and it was great. It was a great day, and it was actually crazy though hopping on Zoom for media and seeing all the boxes of the New York media. Like there's hundreds. It was nuts.
Yeah, that's a fun day for you. You get your learning curve exponentially grows at that point. That is quite a day for you.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to be a Met? You're rolling along. Everybody's excited about you in the organization. And then you get traded. And in the 2021 season, Javy Baez becomes a New York Met, and you end up going to Chicago. Did you think it was a joke or something when they told you that you were being traded?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I didn't know any better. Like, yeah, I didn't know how the trade deadline actually worked because I didn't feel like I was a part of any trade talks that I had, seen on TV or anything like that. And if anything, where I left because I was hurt during that time. I had a sling on my shoulder. And I think the morning that I got traded, I called my buddy. I called Vientos because I think we all thought he was going to get dealt. And we were like, hey, man, like, call me if anything happens to you. Like, good luck, yada, yada. I love you because he's in Syracuse and I'm in Florida getting ready to go to – or actually, I think it was an off day and I was getting ready to go see my parents and my best friend. We were going to go fishing and whatever. And it was just – yeah, I didn't have it. I didn't have it. Not on my bingo card.
So who called you?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Do you remember the conversation? Do you remember them saying, hey, listen, Pete, we made a move to help us get better, and we're sorry, but we think you're going to have a great career. It just won't be here.
So I don't know how to answer this so I'll be honest with you. Mark Vientos ended up being the first person to call me. Um, I'm in the car. I'm in the car on the way to go see my parents and my agent for lunch. And Mark and I left the conversation at call me if anything happens to you. So he FaceTimes me and I'm driving. So I was like, I'm not going to pick this up. But then I was like, no, I'm going to pick this up. Mark's out of here. This is wild, yada, yada. And I answer the phone and he's just blank stare. Didn't say a word. So I kind of reciprocate that and I don't say anything back. And I'm like, what happened? And in the background, he's in the clubhouse. I hear somebody go, Pete Crow just got traded. And I'm like, oh, so this was about me. And then all of a sudden, like my phone kind of starts buzzing. And I thought it was a joke, especially when whoever said that said that. And then I called my agent right away and I was like, what in the world is happening? What are people talking about? Yeah. And I saw him 5 minutes later. We kind of hashed it out. It was just a very odd, very odd string of circumstances. Don't know if I've really ever said that publicly because I don't want to put the Mets on blast. Like, I know that it's a very interesting process now. But I remember getting out of the car, hanging up on Mark, going into the restaurant, sitting down and eating my food like nothing happened. And then the Cubs called me and were like, hey, we're happy to have you. How many days do you need to pack your things? And I said 2. So I packed my things, went fishing, and got in a plane.
How was fishing that day? Was it tough?
No, it was great. Being out on a boat in Florida, and it was amazing. It was one of the easier days of fishing I had. I didn't really care if I caught anything. I don't think it was just nice to be out there and taking my mind off things, I guess.
Were you numb?
Yeah, for sure. It didn't really hit me until I actually went to the complex in Arizona, and I was like, "This is cool. This feels good." Like Carson Tucker. I don't know if that name is familiar to you. It's Cole Tucker's younger brother, and
He was
one
a
of my
first-round pick of the Cleveland Guardians.
yes, one of my best friends. He was on that 12U team with all of us. One of my best friends though, he picked me up from the airport, and even then, it still kind of felt like vacation, I think. But then I just got to finish my rehab, and sadly, we had like 42 guys in rehab with the Cubs that year. So I got to meet a lot of friends, and there's a lot of good people that I started a relationship with when that all happened.
Wow, that's an amazing
Yeah.
story. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Hey, listen,
No, of
that's
course.
part of the business. It's part of
Yeah,
the
and
deal.
that's what I see now. And again, I don't want to put the Mets on blast because I loved my time there. Mark's still a really good friend to this day. Multiple people at that organization I still talk to. So, yeah.
TD Tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets, plus 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Now that's something we can all celebrate. That's $250 in bonus bets instantly and 1 month of NFL Premium after betting just $5. Stay in on the action and use your $250 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on the DraftKings Sportsbook, which is the place to bet touchdowns. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and you customers use promo code ROSE and bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ROSE only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, so Vientos, by the way, he is killing it up there in New York, and like his home run celebrations. You see the one the other day when he hit the walk-off?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I mean, come on, man. That is some great stuff.
Mark, sorry, there we go. Okay, Mark, some of the best backside pop I've ever seen. Like, I love talking about Mark as a hitter just because he's back-to-back 25 home run seasons in the minors. As a fan and as a friend, I feel like he should have been up with them a long time ago. Um, but like that is somebody who he, for lack of better words, he never lost focus. Like he had opportunities to let the game get to him and how the game works and whatever. But he was like a every 2 week type of check in when I was in the minor leagues, when he was kind of going through his, when am I going to be back up there? And I am I'm proud to be his friend and have watched like the deserved success that he's having, the earned success that he's having. But yeah, he's unbelievable and flashy guy too. Not the most out there talkative person, but like he lets his flash out, I think, on the field and how he dresses and whatnot, and that's swaggy V right there.
Dude, that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's some good hang time. That's some good hang time for sure. Nah,
That's,
Mark's a dog. Mark's a
yeah.
dog. A
He's
beast.
well. I don't think he has to worry much about you checking on him in the minor leagues anytime in the near future. I think he's
Me
safe.
neither.
Um,
Me
so you
neither.
came up at the end of last year,
Yeah.
and I think you went 0 for 14, if the record's right.
Something
And
like that.
yeah, whatever it is. And I'm not here to poke, but how tough was it to live for an off season? Because I talked to Stephen Vogt, who's now the manager of the Guardians. Dude, he went like 0-4, and he was much older than you were when he made his debut. I think he made his major league debut at 27.
Okay.
He went like 0 for his first 31 or something. And he told me that offseason where he didn't get a hit was excruciating. What was it like for you?
I'm glad you bring up that aspect of it, because that like time in between's weird. I definitely didn't feel like a big leaguer. I think I think it was a lot easier to remember the at bats where I was running back to the dugout than like a catch I made or anything like that. And in all honesty, I didn't do really anything to impact the team, in my opinion, at all. I got a bunt down here and there, but I feel like I made some mistakes on the bases. Definitely made some mistakes in terms of defensive play. And as a hitter and as somebody that loves hitting, like going 0 for 14, you hate it. And you hate it at any point in your career, I'm sure. But at this point, like I think I've had at least one 0 for 20 stint this year, and it definitely gets easier to handle. But I think the time in between is, it's hard, but like you got to go through it. And I think the most important time in between was when I had to start in AAA this year and struggle, because I was not good. I was not good at the start of the year, and I think that was a product of not really processing um, how I felt about everything in a responsible fashion. Yeah,
What do
I
you mean
think.
by that, Pete?
Yeah, I mean that if you spend that time in the off season, that time in between focusing on the wrong things, um, being too hard on yourself, I think you lose sight of like what you actually have to work on. Because at the end of the day, like it was all stuff up here, and Dansby said it before, like Knapp has said it before, Council said it before. One of the one things that he asked of me in spring training even was, I just want to be confident in the fact that you can go make the next play. So like, I guess to Dan's and what he kind of got at was like, we can deal with the mental mistakes. Like we can deal with all of that. It's just like, are you going to learn from it? The other day, I had a big base running blip that, you know, I it hurts. It makes me sick still. But like Knapp was real quick to say, hey, it just matters if you learn from it. Even Freddie Freeman was like, hey, we've all done it. So like I wish I could have thought that way in in December and January of this past offseason where I'm like, hey, you're not the first one to go 0 for to start their career. You probably, you know, you're probably going to go 0 for however much, at least 10 times this year. Like, but I didn't. I didn't give myself that benefit of the doubt where it's like, hey, remember who you are, man. You got it. You haven't even given yourself the proper time and experience yet to even know who you are as a baseball player, especially a big leaguer. So, I think Stephen Vogt's spot on. Like that time in between is it's pretty fucked. If I'm being honest.
I love your honesty there, and the fact that
Thanks.
Freddie Freeman, who's one of our game's best players, recognizes that must feel great when somebody like that takes the time to say it to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know Freddie at all, and I've only watched him from afar, so I didn't have any clue really to who he was as just a talker. You always see him shooting the shit, I guess, with people on first base, and I mean, I've seen some really cool things from him. I think it was Jose Iglesias whose father passed, and he was really quick to just kind of let him lean on him, and I think that is just so. It's so interesting to see on a baseball field, but it's so cool, and yeah, it's always nice to have watched somebody for so long, and then they kind of exceed your expectations of who they are, and yeah, Freddie was really cool to kind of chat with a little bit. Yeah, good for the game. Freddie's always been good for the game, and good smile, good for the game.
So this is one of the reasons I love that Bryce Harper moved from right field to first base, because he's kind of like the welcoming committee a little bit. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is known in this sport as a teenager and now is blossoming into what he's become as a 2-time league MVP and everything.
Yeah.
The first time you were next to Bryce Harper, was there a little bit of like, oh shit, that's Bryce Harper?
Yeah. He didn't even play first. I think I heard him from the dugout. He didn't play first when they came to us, but right, I think he didn't play at all. God, that feels so long ago. Bryce didn't see the field. I think he was nursing something.
But you heard him?
Oh yeah, I heard him. I heard everybody, but I think like, God, who would be that person for me though at first base? Rowdy Tellez is a good welcoming committee.
Good one.
He likes to talk. He was giving me a lot of guff too, in a good way too. And you kind of forget, like, some people are over there talking to you to get you off your game, or to get you to forget that you're supposed to be stealing second base or something like that. So it's funny how it works. Like, I feel like sometimes I especially with like Freddie, I definitely tried getting my conversation in like right away, just getting the introduction out of the way so I could focus on the task at hand. But yeah, man, I think it's having a guy like Bryce Harper at first base is probably pretty cool for a lot of us young guys.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I got a few more things. I'm going to let you go back and being a baseball player.
Thanks.
Your 14-second inside the park home run. Did you go back and look at it and be like, yeah, man, I am fast. I can run.
No, but going back looking at the dive, I think it looked cooler than it felt. For sure.
Do you get tired when you're sprinting? Like, I've never been this might come as a complete shock. I'm not a good runner. I'm not a good athlete.
Are you now?
Dude, that slide at the end is awesome.
That was my favorite part of the play by far. If anything, watching it back, I was like, yeah, I definitely remember how tired I was running third base. But I mean, what a relay throw too. Like, they made the play, which is like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that, because aside from that big ass kick the ball took off the wall, like, they played that to perfection, and the dive, I feel like, is kind of what sealed the deal, at least in terms of me being safe, where whatever instincts kicked in, I was like, I need to go now. And I'm just glad I actually made it that far in the air. I'm glad I didn't, like, come up a little short or something.
Yeah. Hey, we talked about you taking the 0 for 14 into the following year. Well, it didn't take you long to get settled in because your first hit went over the wall.
Yeah.
Your first show hit. Did you black out?
Blacked out. No question. I don't remember seeing the ball go over the fence. I just knew I got it, and so cavalier of me because the wind was blowing in. So that really could have gone sideways too if the baseball gods didn't have my back there. I definitely should have been. I mean, with the wind, I feel like I should have been running a little harder. But that aside, I mean, felt like a bit of a breath of fresh air. Whoa, breath of fresh air. Yeah, and then getting to hug my teammates was pretty fun too. I mean, I definitely waited for it. I didn't expect it to be a freaking homer. I would have taken a bunt single or a bloop over the shortstop's head.
Yeah, take this one. This is pretty good. Where's
yeah.
the ball? Where's the ball?
Balls with my mom. She wasn't there. It's funny, like every first that I had, except for the debut, like nobody's been there for. So, like the clubbies held the ball for a while, and then we got it to my mom. But traded the bat for the ball. The group of like four boys came down, and I appreciate them for that. That was definitely pretty cool.
That's awesome. Speaking of your mom, Ashley Crow, actress, Hollywood, love it.
Yes.
Obviously, the baseball connection is amazing. She was the mom in Little Big League. How long did it take big leaguers to start getting on you about it?
Good question. My memory might be bad, but I don't feel like I've talked to that many players actually about Little Big League. Definitely because like people on my team are still kind of figuring it out. But I feel like umpires have actually brought it up to me a little bit more. Like I think it was Vic Carapazza. I think he brought it to me at one point. Yeah, it's funny because like I'm somewhat of I'm a fan of that movie for reasons other than my bias, but it is definitely cool to see like the amount of people that actually really did like that movie. Like it was Cole Tucker's favorite movie growing up. Cody just told me it's cool, and if anything, it makes me happy for my mom because that's probably one of her favorite things she did.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, I learned something new about that movie too. I feel like every day. Like my AA coach, Michael Ryan, was an extra in that movie. Yeah,
the number of big leaguers that were in it is amazing. I mean, go back and look at the page where it lists everybody that was in it. It's pretty staunch group.
Yeah, I wanna know because the reason that I know about Michael Ryan being in it is he was drafted by the Twins that year. The Twins did a little post draftee like welcome to the Twins mini camp, I guess, at the Dome, like while it was being filmed. So all of them were extras, and I'd be interested to see who else of that Twins draft class was an extra in that movie.
Well, in the movie, your mom suspended the kid because he swore at the umpire. He got suspended a game. So I imagine you had to be on your P's and Q's as a little kid, or you were going to get,
Yeah. She was never a fan of the blow-ups ever, and she's still not. She doesn't really tell me about it at this point, but she's a wonderful person, and I think she gives off a lot of good energy. She always just wanted me to have fun playing sports, doing what I was doing, and she was very quick to remind me like, hey, if this isn't doing it for you anymore, and if it's not becoming fun, then stop and we'll support you. And I think she can kind of relate to this line of work a little bit, just because of what she did. And I'm just glad that I feel like my mom really gets it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's interesting because one of our regulars here is Tyler Glass now, and I've become friendly with his parents. They're wonderful people.
Good.
They get on him all the time because he he's a snapper on the mound. Like, he will say bad words all the time, and she gets on him. She gets on him a ton. It is hilarious. So
That's
it's
good. I
fun.
mean, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. That's I think that that's also funny. I'm sure Glass loves his mom like I love my mom, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that probably feels good to a certain extent. Like, that to me that sounds like Mama Glass cares.
That's what she does. That's good. Very, very
Yeah.
good. I do want to ask you about this because I saw it when it happened in the minor leagues. I was like, what the hell? There was a guy who threw at you twice, and then you went yeah on him.
Yeah.
Were you wondering what the hell you did?
Yeah, yeah, I was a little confused. Yeah, after the first one, I got a weird feeling in my stomach after the first one because I was like, this is the second time we've seen him this week. He's been pretty much all around the zone for the most part, and then the next one was by my head, and I had a bit of a better understanding as to kind of what was going on. But um, no, I mean, I think that I was definitely happy with how I was playing that week. I play with some emotion for sure, and there's definitely times where I wish I was a little more stoic on the field, and I think that's actually because from a physical standpoint, when I've been able to just breathe after a big moment, whether good or bad, like the energy conserved is real. And Buddy Bailey, my low A coach, was the one to kind of teach me that. He was like, I really don't want to. I don't care. Like, I don't care if you do well. I don't care if you do bad. I care that you're on the field every day, and it's important to kind of only show your cards when it's really time to. And I was having a really good week, so I was feeling myself for sure. And I'm sure I rub some people the wrong way sometimes, but it's all in me loving the game. When it's going well, and I definitely got to do better at loving it when it's not. But um, yeah, I mean, I think to me it's like if you're gonna do it, get it done, and we can figure it out, and that's okay.
Dude, you're a young
Got a little,
guy.
yeah,
Enjoy it. Like,
yeah,
it's sport that's supposed to be fun. As long as the energy you're bringing is to uplift you and your team and not stomp on the other team,
yeah.
go keep doing it. Who gives a shit? You want to enjoy this stuff. Like, God almighty, these old head baseball rules drives me nuts. And I think we're kind of getting that out of the game, thank God.
I think you're right. I think, but I think I think there's still some of the older
It's
style of
fine.
unwritten rules that need to apply. But with that, it's like if they were to hit me in my ribs, back, ass, legs, first pitch, like then they did their job, and they did it pretty cleanly and in the safest fashion. It's just like when it starts getting close to the head, then because I am all for the competitiveness. I am all for creating a common enemy because I know that works for a team. Like it's fun when you get to rally behind something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's what Indy needed at that point in their week when they were playing us, then so be it. And I'm actually okay with that because
Hmm.
if anything, I hope that fires my team up. But you only get one chance, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. Don't fuck it
but
up.
yeah, don't fuck it up. I agree. I agree.
Boy, you were pissed, though. You slammed that bat down like, got you, motherfucker.
That was another moment I just blacked out. Like I wish I had a little more feel for for my
You didn't
surroundings
need
when
it.
that stuff happened.
Listen,
No.
dude, he just threw 90 plus at your dome. You're good. You're allowed to do it. If you want to do cartwheels around the bases, feel free. All right,
I
two
don't even know
last
if I
things,
can
and
do
then
a
I'm going to let you
cartwheel.
go. Number
Okay.
one is, who's the best defensive center fielder in the game?
Um Besides myself, I like Brenton Doyle a lot. I like Alec Thomas a lot. Michael Harris is really good out there. Um Johan Rojas is really good out there.
All right, you named a bunch of good dudes, no question. You said beside me, so you think you're the best.
Not this year. I think Jacob Young with the Nats.
Hmm.
Um, he can go get it.
Why'd you say not this year?
Because I think I fell short of some things that I wanted to do better, and I think part of that had to do with the learning curve and everything. But and um, I think so, like sometimes in the minor leagues, at least my experience was I was pretty used to having my left and right fielders give way, and I was confident in like the crowd noise, and then just feeling like I had the free reign to go catch everything willy nilly, and it's like that's okay in the minor leagues, but a lot of it was like learning how to play play ball where like you're playing next to two guys who can go get it with anybody, in their respective positions, and how to give way to Ian Happ when it's a ball in your eyes might be going like this, and you got Wrigley fans breathing down your neck, and um, it's like how do you just take your eye off the ball for a second, check for Ian. I feel like there's been balls into the left center gap, especially that I've dropped the ball on a little bit, no pun intended. Like I didn't maximize my job as a center fielder, which is go catch everything until it's not yours. And even that play where it was a little like oopsie backhand on Shohei's ball, like that's kind of a situation where I let assumption kind of erase any sort of aggressiveness. I kind of gave way to Cody too early just based on where I thought we were positioned. And it's just little things like that where like you have to play with the, kind of like that reckless abandon to be able to go catch everything. But I don't think my feel this year was kind of exactly where it should be. And then I know that was a lot of jumble, but like besides that, just I've had more balls than I expected hit off my glove and not stay in my glove. So
Got it. I think you've been pretty good to watch.
I appreciate it.
Finally, recently, Anthony Rizzo returned for the first time to Wrigley Field. You said you grew up a Cubs fan. What was it like to watch him enjoy the shower of the moment from the fans?
Really cool. Can't believe I forgot him naming the welcoming committee at first base. I mean, just in terms of like stories I've heard about Riz, what I've heard from Ian, Nico, Danny Mueller, our head clubby, like sounds like a fun dude, bottom line. Like he likes to have a good time, and he's definitely good to the people around him. Just from my understanding at least. And based on my first impression, the welcome he got back is definitely well deserved as a fan, watching. But you gain a little bit more of an appreciation, I guess, after like sharing the field with them. Definitely cool hearing the walkout song played. And it's a little weird sometimes when like your fans stand up for somebody else on the other team. But like to me, that's still Anthony Rizzo, the Chicago Cubs first baseman. And considering what 2016 meant to everybody in Chicago, play the song. Like give him his love and his moment. Yeah, good tagger too at first base.
I'm sure he is.
Good tagger.
And a giant of a human being. If you've never stood next to him,
he's like a bear.
He is like a.
He's like a bear.
He is like a bear. That's a great call. Finally, Cubs fans want to know: are you ever going to dye your hair blue again?
Probably not that blue. That was, I think, like I think I screwed up the actual coloring on that one. I think it was like a little too. See, like that's a little too much. I was hoping it'd be a little closer to what the hat looks like, but
yeah,
that was a lot. I've never really done that like freaking crazy of a color on my head either. It was usually like bleach or just something a little more simple than that. But I don't know about that blue. I'm also growing the curls back out because I miss them. So I think they'll see curls before they see buzzed blue. Yeah.
Let's see how we doing right now. How's that?
I mean, we probably got some hat hair, but the back's okay. The back's getting there. We're starting to feel some. Yeah.
Let it eat, brother.
I've never had hair really while I'm playing baseball. I've always did like this summer buzz cut, and I happen to really like what it looks like coming out the back of a hat. So, yeah.
Keep doing it. Listen, you're off to a great start. It's been a
Thanks.
ton of fun watching you. I've heard great things about you. I hope you had as much fun today as we did getting to know you too. This was
I
awesome.
absolutely did. This is very fun. I'll definitely be back on if you'll let me.
Absolutely. You're coming back. You're coming back, kid. Finish up strong, and you never know which way it's going to shake down. I've seen some weird shit happen to teams. I mean, I know that as we speak right now, you guys are 5 out of the wild card. You guys just keep winning, and I'm just telling you, as a longtime baseball fan, those last 2 weeks can get a little woolly for some people. So hopefully that works out for you.
I'm ready for the wooliness, man. We're just gonna keep playing our baseball.
That's it.
We hear you for sure.
That was awesome. Big shout out to our amazing producer, Robbie Scirocco, for PCA. That is Pete Crow-Armstrong in your media guide. I am Chris Rose. We will see you next time here on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.